So before we get started, check out the following links in the description box below as highlighted in the image shown. So you'll be able to get our past papers, our link to our official website, link to accreditations, our link to donation page, and contact details in the description. So once you'll be watching a certain video of any lesson or of any past paper, you'll be able to get all these links, and you can be able to get to download past papers, to reach to our official website. You'll be able to see links to our accreditations so that you can see which authorities have accredited us. You'll be able to reach to our donation page as well as our contact details.
Let's look at question 4. The question reads, identify 6 types of course classifications by function. 6 types of course classifications by function. I'm just going to mention, because some of these things we covered in our introduction for management accounting. Number 1, we mentioned that costs can be classified and by classification basing on production, production, or manufacturing cost. Under this one, the cost can be further classified into direct material, direct labor, and we have the direct expenses, or sometimes you have the variable overhead. Then number 2, this is Roman 1. Roman 2, we can talk over administration cost. Administration cost. This one we can maybe subdivide the cost basing on the salaries of staff. And then we have either legal fees. We have depreciations of equipment, depreciation of office equipment, and so forth. Number 3, we talk over selling and distribution. Selling cost. Maybe when we are going to sell this particular product at a particular area, we have to incur the cost. Then Roman 4, we talk of distribution cost. Now mostly they shall combine the selling and distribution to be one. Then we also have the research and development, cost. This is the cost incurred in the course of researching and development. Now next we can talk of customer service costing. Customer service costing. In this case, we can as well refer to after sale service. After you have sold the product, now trying to find out the customer is utilizing the product, we are termed it as customer service costing. Those are 6 types of cost classifications basing on the function. But B, Dawa Limited is a pharmaceutical company which manufactures antibiotic drugs. Dawa Limited has 2 production departments, namely factory plant and assembly department. The company has also 2 service departments, namely laboratory, that deals with the efficacy and chemistry that is concerned with stocking of the drugs. The overhead analysis sheet showing the primary allocation of overhead analyzed to production and service department are as follows. They have classified them. We have indirect labor, indirect material, lighting and heating, property, salary to factory managers, and so forth. And then we have the totals there. Additional information: the budgeted direct labor hours were 23,780 hours for factory planned, and 15,050, that is assembly department. And then we have the budgeted direct labor rate per hour is 300 in the factory, and planned is given as 510 in the assembly. And then in 3, the total overhead for service departments are to be apportioned to the production department as follows. So we have laboratory 50-20, 50-30 and 20, and chemistry have 60%, 30%, 10% respectively for planned, assembly, and laboratory. Required: secondary apportionment of service department to overhead using the stepwise method, 8 marks. And then we also told that compute the overhead absorption rate for each production department. And then we do the next. The special order for antibiotics has been received from the customers. The management accountant has estimated the cost as follows. We are going to see how to do it. Now let's start with the secondary apportionment. Secondary apportionment of overhead. In this case, I'm just going to put their overhead. Overhead. And then we have 2. We are told that we are having 2 production department. We have production department and service department. Now under production we have the factory planned, then we have the assembly department. Service we have the chemistry, then we have the laboratory, chemistry and laboratory. That is it. Now we start with the total. You are just going to pick the total overheads or allocated. Total overheads or allocated. Let me just use my hard copy paper. For factory planned, we had try and get 3 zeros. We had that is 390, 4, 9, 10, that is chemistry, chemistry should be 1800. Then this one is 26. Now we start apportioning. Let's apportion the laboratory to the other departments. So we'll talk of apportioning. Apportioning lab to other departments. You are given the ratios or the percentage. We are using 50%. Now whatever I'm apportioning, I put in bracket. It's say 50%, 0.5. We are multiplying by 2600. We have 13. Then we have 0.3 multiplied by the same 2600. Have 780. And then we have a 0.2 multiplied by 2600. We have 520. And then we have to apportion what? Apportioning of chemistry. Now find this plus this one, the plus 1800. You have 23, 20. Now we apportion 23, 22 other departments using now these particular ratios. 0.6 multiplied by the 23, 20. You have this is 30, 92. Then you take 30%. You are going to get 696. Then 10% of that you should be getting 232. 10% is 232. Then we apportion lab again. Apportioning of laboratory. Now this is 232 is what we are apportioning using the fast ratios. 0.5 multiplied by 232. You have 116. Right, you take 3%. Have 69.6. 69.6. And then the last one we have 20%. You have 46.4. 46.4. Then you have to apportion chemistry. This is what you are apportioning, 46.4. To the rest of departments, you use which ratios? We had 60, 30, and 10. Of 0.6 multiplied by 46.4. We are getting 27.84. And then that was 30, 0.3. 46.4. We get 13.92. And then 10%, 0. In this case you should just get 4.64. Now we have 4.64. We apportion the lab. Apportioning of lab. We use the other ratio. It was 50, 30, 20. 0.5. We are multiplying 4.64. You get 2.32. Right? Then we have that's 30. You get 1.392. And then 20. You get 0.928. 0.928. Can apportion again this one, because if I convert multiply to 1000, yes, apportion this one again. In that case, you have 0.928 I'm doing this because of the 1,000 figures we put at that top. You have an LP square. We are questioning this is chemistry of chemistry. Have 0.6 multiplied by 0.928. Now 0.5568. Then we have 30. You get 0.2784. Then 10. Yes, 10 to the lab. It becomes 0.0928. Guess we can stop there. And then we have to find the total at this point. Now I'm going to take 2390. We add 1300 plus 1392 plus 1116, 27.84 plus 2.32 plus 0.5568. Get 522.7168. All right, then we have 49100 plus 780 plus 696, 69.6, 13.92 plus 1.392 plus 0.2784. This case you get 6471.1904. 6471.1904. Then we are told secondary apportionment for service overhead using the stepwise method. We have done that. In thousands, you just take that 522.7168. You just multiply by 1,000 so that we can get the factory planned. The total overhead was how much? Is 522,871.6.8. Then we had the assembly. Also take 6471.1904. You just multiply by 1,000, which is 6471,190.4. Then we want to compute the overhead apportionment rate. Compute the overhead apportionment rate for each production department. Overhead apportionment rate, we say that is equal to budgeted overhead over budgeted activity level. Budgeted overhead over budgeted activity level. Now in this case we are just taking number one is the factory planned. Factory planned overhead absorption rate is going to be 522,871.6.8. We divide by the budgeted activity level. Budgeted activity level for factory, it was 23,780 for factory planned. 23,780. Now we divide by 23,780. We have 522,871.16.8. We are dividing by 23,780. If you hold to a whole number, you are going to get 220. Find to a whole number. And then we hit assembly. Overhead absorption rate which we are taking 64,7119, 64,7119, 0.4, 0.4. We are taking the activity level, in that case was 15,050, 15,050, 64,7119, 0.4. We divide by 15,050, you get that it would be 430, 430, 220, and 430. Then you are told that a special, that's Roman 3, a special order for antibiotics capsules has been received from a customer. The management accountant has estimated the cost as follows. We have the direct material, direct labor you have been given, then the company calculate the total cost of the special order. In this case, we are meant to find the cost statement. Cost statement, we are going to start with direct material, which is 225. We have to add direct labor, and then we have, for the categorized element, we have the factory plant, which is 300, and then we have assembly 160. We are told the raw additional information number 2, the budgeted direct labor rate per hour is 300 for factory plant, that's 300, and then 510 in the assembly, 510 in the assembly. You just have to multiply 300 squared, you should be getting, this is 90, and then 160 we are multiplying by 510, you get 81,600 plus 90, you are going to get 171,600. We add this one to 225,000, you get 396,600. That is the prime cost. Prime cost. Then we have overhead absorbed. Overhead absorbed. We had factory plant, then we have assembly. Now we are using, this is 300, and we had 160, if I'm not so wrong, 160 we multiply by the factory overhead absorption rate. We are multiplying by 220, that's 220, and 420, let me confirm, 430, sorry, 430. That's 300 multiplied by 220. This is 66. And then 160 multiplied by 430. You get 68,800. When you add plus 66, get 134,800. Then find the accumulation plus 396,600. You get 531,400. That is the total cost for capsules. If they receive the special order, that's the total cost they need to budget for. To that, you get a full 20 marks for that particular question. Question 4.
So if you like this video, you can always enroll with us. You'll be able to access more of these revision sessions, and also you'll be able to find well done lectures or pre-recorded videos for all the KASNEB courses, as well as CHRP. And in case of anything, you can always reach us out. We have our contact details on the screen. Feel free to call, feel free to WhatsApp anytime. So thank you, and let's meet in our next session.